We need to be honest about FFAR. It has been heavily criticized by unprincipled showmen masquerading as analysts. But is it really a terrible weapon, or people are simply misinformed? P.S. My intention is not to roast anyone. Rather, I gathered some common misconceptions, and I will be providing my analysis on it. Base FFAR is nothing noteworthy to talk about. We have 35 meters of effective range with good and competitive time to kill, but that's about it. It would be worse than using PP-19 Bison, which has similar range and time to kill. And if you want assault rifle, then M13 would be better. So really, if you're using base FFAR, you should upgrade your Gunsmith, and I have a special video just for that. Barrel is the most important attachment on FFAR, and Task Force barrel is a prerequisite, with takedown barrel being an alternative. Other barrels may work out like reinforced, but we have better guns to use, so no point using FFAR in that scenario. And with Task Force barrel, we get 24 meters of 264 milliseconds time to kill, which is good as majority of aggressive gunfights will happen within this range. And FFAR can even defeat guns like CBR4. And for mid to long range gunfights, 42 meters of 330 milliseconds time to kill is equally impressive, and we can defeat guns like Kilo 141 and Greg 6 in this range. So FFAR is not lacking when it comes to range and time to kill. There is a criticism that FFAR has worse damage drop-off than SMGs, but here is Fennec. It has 16 meters of 2xx milliseconds time to kill, while FFAR has 24 meters, and Fennec has 22 meters of 3xx milliseconds time to kill, while FFAR has 42 meters. Damage drop-off is by far worse than most SMGs. Here is Switchblade, only 25 meters of good time to kill range, and that too is potential time to kill, as we will need to hit shots around the chest area. FFAR has the advantage as time to kill is consistent, meaning we can hit all leg shots and still get 330 milliseconds time to kill till 42 meters. And here is CBR4, the #1 best gun in COD Mobile, but FFAR has better range than it as well. One thing we need to understand, damage is just a variable we use for calculating time to kill. Time to kill is what matters, not damage. A low damage gun shooting at fast fire rate will have same performance as high damage gun shooting at low fire rate, and the low damage gun will perform better. So if you're basing your analysis on damage only, then you're likely to go astray with your analysis. Thus, I don't know where this misinfo spread from, that FFAR has heavy damage drop off, which is worse than SMGs. As from what we can see, FFAR has better range profile than meta SMGs which are used in current season. And I'm not even considering other factors like FFAR having better bullet spread with faster reload speed, etc. I will come to that later. And now is a good time to leave a like and comment something nice to help support the video. If you want even better range, then takedown barrel can be used. And one legitimate criticism of FFAR is that it has bullet speed. But people have this misunderstanding that bullet speed guns are bad. FFAR has one of the best bullet speed in the game for full auto weapons, and we have no delay till approx 20 meters, which is where the aggressive gunfights happen, and FFAR will perform same as guns like CBR4 in this range. And then we have 2 frames delay till 39 meters, where time to kill will be slower by 33 milliseconds. 2 frames is not a big deal and won't adversely affect the practical performance of FFAR. And FFAR has the fastest fire rate among assault rifles, which helps with bullet speed delay, as we fire so many bullets together in quick succession that the 2 frames delay does not seem to matter anymore. And FFAR is considered a versatile weapon, meaning a gun which we can use for playing aggressive while being able to take mid to long range gunfights as well. So we wouldn't be challenging gunfights in the 3 frames delay range. And the bullet speed on FFAR is completely fine and not a con of this weapon. One legit criticism of FFAR is hitbox. We will need to rely on headshots for getting faster time to kill, but it isn't a big deal as FFAR time to kill is already plenty good, and the fire rate is faster than other common guns. On top of that, if you include the ability to make time to kill faster by hitting upper body shots, then FFAR will be a broken gun and will need to be nerfed soon. Thus, saying headshot is the only hope for FFAR to perform good is a misnomer. If you want good potential time to kill, then you can use guns like UL736 and SKS, etc. One criticism is that FFAR does not have good realistic time to kill, meaning the time to kill which we get when practically using this weapon is not good enough, as the time to kill I have shown so far is just in stats. But in practical games, we will need to hit our shots and the enemy for getting the time to kill I have shown in stats. If you're missing shots, then it's a skill issue and you need to practice and get better. Only then you will get good realistic time to kill. And one advantage of FFAR is the fire rate. It has the fastest fire rate for assault rifle, and the fire rate is even faster than SMGs like CPR4, QQ9, Switchblade, etc. As an advantage, it makes missing shots less punishing, so even if you have decent aim, we will be able to do well with a fast firing gun. And the bullet speed delay like 2 frames or 3 frames wouldn't matter too much, as we are shooting more bullets in 1 second compared to other guns, thereby giving us lesser delay between consecutive shots. And for this reason, FFAR was performing amazing at long range, and even able to defeat guns like LK24 and Kilo 141. But fast fire rate is also a con, as we need to reload more frequently, and with FFAR we can take down 2 people and then need to reload, while on another gun we can take down 3 to 4 people without reloading. Recoil is also slightly challenging, as we need to do just pull down quickly, as faster firing guns tend to climb upwards quickly as well. But these aren't valid criticism, as these are features of faster fire rate. Fennec suffers from these same issues, yet China pro players use that instead of other SMGs like CPR4 and Switchblade. And for more analysis and best Gunsmith builds, you can join our Discord server. One criticism of FFAR is that it does not have predictable recoil pattern, but it does. No matter how many times you shoot with FFAR, the recoil will have the same pattern. Initially it is purely vertical recoil for the first 5 bullets. Then it has Switchblade pattern till the end of the spray, and it is again vertical recoil. Because it has pattern based recoil, I can do sprays like this over and over again. This misconception happens since the stats page shows recoil to be different, but this is why I show recoil pattern in training room, as this recoil is what we will practically get in game. So don't follow the stats page for recoil. And Task Force barrel does make the recoil worse, but very slightly, and since FFAR is pattern based recoil, it is easy to beam with some practice. Base bullet spread is good if you want to play FFAR as a versatile weapon, and the base bullet spread will give us no issues playing within the 42 meters effective range. But if you tend to take long range gunfires, then aim assist laser helps, as FFAR shoots like a railgun, very straight, and helps be more accurate with our spray. Base FFAR spread is usable, and we can hip fire in close range to get kills. Why my personal gunsmith is this and this when I'm playing range, but if you don't hip fire, then you can go with this. And one advantage of FFAR is iron sight. The iron sight looks very good with very less aim shake, and we can use iron sights with no issues. Using red dot isn't needed, and because the base FFAR is usable, I don't find the mythic to be pay to win, as I can perform about the same with both the weapons. And looking at other stats, FFAR has low punishment when we miss shots, since the fire rate is so fast, and flinch is kind of moderate. If playing at long range, we can use toughness perk, otherwise I don't use it when playing FFAR as a versatile assault rifle. ADS speed is similar to guns like CPR4, and the sprint to fire is on the slow side. Why, if you want to hip fire in close range, don't make this stat too worse. And mobility is plenty good with pretty average ADS movement for a versatile assault rifle. Mag size is on the low side, as FFAR shoots so fast we burn through the mag very quickly, but the fast reload cancel makes up for it, as reloading is faster than common weapons we use and even faster than SMGs. In conclusion, all the claims made against FFAR is bogus. They said FFAR does not have prime range or time to kill, but we have 42 meters effective range with competitive time to kill in close range. They said we need to rely on headshot to make FFAR perform good, but headshots does not impact the time to kill much, and we don't need to rely on headshots, as FFAR is good even if you hit only leg shots. They said bullet speed makes FFAR bad, but bullet speed barely has an impact on the practical performance. They said FFAR has bad damage drop off, worse than SMGs, but that is simply not true. They said recoil is bad as it does not have a predictable recoil pattern, but FFAR has pattern based recoil like any other gun. They said FFAR cannot be used for spraying at mid to long range, and we have to play it like a SMG, but it there's a skill issue and we need to get better at recoil control, and so on. The only legit criticism is the fast fire rate and the smaller mag size, which actually has practical impact on our gameplay, as we will need to reload more frequently, which will induce more downtime between gunfights. And then depending on Gunsmith build, we can have other issues like bad FFAR spread or bad mobility or bad range, etc. But that's a mistake of the person making the Gunsmith, not of the gun. So I cannot judge FFAR harshly in such a scenario. Similar thing happened with Craig 6, where people stopped considering it meta, and watch next why Craig 6 is meta and you should use it. I will see you soon. Bye.